Old Time Knits. This is episode 9. Today is December 14th, halfway through the month already, 2022. You can find me on Instagram as Old Time Knits and on Ravelry as Old Time Knits. My name is Marie and I'm coming to you from central New Hampshire. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. And if you're new here, welcome. I hope you enjoy. This is my knitting podcast where I talk all about what's off my needles, what's on my needles, the future of my needles, and all the good yarny fun stuff that comes in the mail, places that I've visited, people that I've seen, and a few life events thrown in. So if this sounds like something you'd enjoy, then come on in and let's get started. All right, I just wanted to touch on a little bit of lifey stuff before I get into the podcast. The last couple podcasts maybe, I mentioned that there was some very busy, chaotic stuff coming up in my life, and that has come and gone, and I wanted to talk a little bit about it because I feel it's directly related to the knitting aspect of my life. So 2 weeks ago, I had left hip replacement surgery, and I was absolutely petrified. And for 3 or 4 weeks prior to, I knit myself to death just because it is such a soothing and comforting thing. It truly is therapy. So anyway, all that to say that I am doing very well. It has been a smooth, easy recovery, but I have to say a lot of that I feel has to do with knitting. I knit my way through the recovery process. I knit when I couldn't sleep. I knit when I was thinking about nervous about things that were up and coming, doctor's appointments, all of it. Anyway, I generally don't share these things with people, but I just felt it was really important to emphasize that when you have something like knitting, I just don't know what I would do without it. And it is a part of my life every single day. And I really feel like I would be lost without it. I feel like it's a part of my soul and it's part of my everyday well-being. And so, goals to come back and share my knitting with you and to record this podcast, which has really been a breath of fresh air for me. It really is so much fun. I just enjoy it so much. And I love reading all the comments too. So anyway, all that to say that you guys rock, podcasting rocks, and knitting every single day. I would be lost without it. So anyway, let's get into some of the knitting. I don't want to go on and on. I'm doing great, and I'm happy that it's over. So now I can focus on some holiday stuff. So, all right, let me see what I got here. Okay, first things up for off the needles were easy things because my brain space wasn't up for real complicated things. Plus I had some gift knitting to do. So first up, I showed you guys this yarn in a couple of podcasts ago. This is for my grandson, Blake. And this is just a basic hat. I did not follow a pattern. I did this myself. Basically cast on 70 stitches, did stockinette stitch for about 2.5 inches, folded the brim under, knit it together so it has a rolled brim, which I love those. Then stockinette stitch and a slow decrease, and I used my Clover pom-pom maker to make a pom-pom. So yeah, that is hat number 1. So that's for Blake. He's the oldest of these 3 kids that are siblings. And here's the next one. And this is Annabelle's. Fun to be able to put up for a pom-pom. Again, the same thing. 70 stitches, folded brim, stockinette stitch, simple decreases, and a fun little pom-pom. Yeah, this is great. And I think I used a US size 8 needle for those. And then this is the youngest girl, Eloise. And I did the exact same thing for her and topped it off with a little white pom-pom. So they'll be so excited. I haven't made them new hats for quite a few years, and so it was time. All right, I want to talk a little bit about the yarn. I have the remainder of Eloise's here. So this is Plymouth yarn in the Encore. It says color spun. This is their worsted weight, and it is a mix of 75% acrylic and 25% wool. And so I didn't use a whole skein. There's 200 yards on a skein of it. And I just got this at my local yarn store. Very cost effective. I think it was like right around $10 US dollars for a skein of it. And I have quite a bit left over. So maybe down the road I can do some mittens, or I don't think I have quite enough to do mittens. But anyway, my point being, this is a great yarn for kids accessories like that. It's machine washable and tumble dry on low, it says on the tag. So that was really fun to be able to do those. So yes, I'm happy to have all those off, and fun colors too. So those were a good mindless knit. That was really awesome. So that is project number 1 off the needles. And then I finished Miss Annabelle's socks. This color, I had said it before, but boy, there has to be 20 colors in this thing. Unfortunately, this dyer doesn't, I think she's given up dyeing, which kind of stinks because look at, gosh darn, it's great. So Annabelle is 8. I don't know if I've said that before, but I will have links to all my project pages down below so you can find out all of the information on these. Super easy, 40 stitches. This is a DK weight, in case I forgot to say. Always DK, always. I'm a DK addict now. Not to say fingering's bad, but I'm not sure I will go back to it after doing these. They're just so much faster. So 10 rows of rib, 10 rows on the leg, heel flap and gusset, 6 inches on the foot, and then a rounded toe. So there are 2 of them, yay! And I will tell you the yarn. This is a girl and her wool. And again, I don't think that she's dyeing anymore. This was her DK 75 merino, 25% nylon. And this is what I had left. So I have some leftovers, which is, it's phenomenal, the amount of colors in this. Annabelle did pick and wound this up. She picked this out. So that was fun too. So yeah, she'll be happy to have these. She's been anxious for them. It took me a little bit longer. I actually, just to get me through my little stint in the hospital, I took these with me, and I wasn't really able to knit on them because too much information, but they stuck the IV in my hand, and so that was super hard to knit. But just the fact that these were in a project bag on my table beside my bed was so comforting. And like I had a couple nurses say, "Oh, what's that? What are you knitting?" And so that was kind of fun. I was able to share it with somebody, and they appreciated it. I also wore hand knit socks to and from the hospital, which the nurses loved. And I don't know, I just couldn't go do that without my knitting with me. Even if I didn't knit a stitch, just the fact that it was there if I wanted to was so comforting. So awesome. All right, and the third thing off my needles, this was a super fast little knit. See see if I can find the picture of it for you here. My youngest grandchild is, his name is Logan, and he's 17 months. And so I decided I would do him a sweater. So I chose the, Gramps cardigan from Tin Can Knits. You know, I have to say that their patterns are just, I have said it before, and many people have said it. It's crazy. I mean, they go from these 0 to 6 months all the way up to extended extra large sizes. So they're a great thing. If you haven't done a Tin Can Knits pattern yet, then you really should. So let's see if I can get this to cooperate. I just finished this. Baby things go so fast. So here it is. It's so cute. Look at the color. So this is the Gramps, and this is the 1 to 2 year old size. I made it so it would fit him and now so that he could wear it, because you know, I didn't want to make too big of a sweater and then it doesn't fit him in the right season, and even if he only gets a little bit of time out of it, it's all good. This was a super easy knit, you know, just your basic sweater, but the grandpa cardigan, oh my gosh, I just love it. So now I need to venture to get some buttons for it. Not really sure quite yet what I'm going to get for buttons, but I'll know when I see them. And this was a great little knit, and you know, you do some short row shaping to get the extension on the collar, and my son is just gonna chuckle. The other grandmother in Logan's life gave him a little upholstered chair and ottoman, and so I really think that he just needed a Gramps cardigan so he could look like a little old man to sit in it. All right, I'm going to talk a little bit about the yarn. I bought a user-friendly yarn. This is Lion Brand Heartland, and this is the Yosemite colorway. And I've made hats in this before. This is a very nice yarn. It's kind of got a tweedy effect to it, so it really is an easy knit. It is 100% acrylic, and it is machine washable and dryable. So that was the main color, Yosemite, and then I used this brown, which is Sequoia, for the trim. And honestly, I'm showing you this big skein, but I actually only used one skein, and this is all that I had left of it. It was a very small amount, so that was kind of cool. Talk about a budget-friendly sweater and gift. So I mean, this was, I think it's $6.99 a skein regularly, US dollars, and then it was 40% off. So I did get an extra skein because I wasn't sure if I would have enough with just one, and I did, just barely. If I had made the next size up, I for sure would have needed another skein. So yeah, so that was super fun. My husband cracks up every time he sees it, and he's just, Logan's gonna look like just such a little man in it. So how fun is that? But if you need, this is a great pattern for any size, but for a child, even if it's a little bit bigger child, this is a great easy pattern to do. So yes, that is all the items that are off my needles. I kept it simple for many reasons. I didn't have the brain space to really tackle a whole lot of challenging stuff. Plus I wanted to finish up those gift knits, and it was good. It's an accomplishment to have all of that off the needles. So things that are on the needles. I had a little bit of cast-on-itis happen. I was a little restless with my knitting. I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. So some of these things I already had in process in my last episode, and some I did not. So let's start with the first one, which is this sweater. It's called Hush. Again, tin can knits, you guys. These guys are crazy good patterns. But I really liked this. It had, the cables are amazing on it. And so I had cast this on the last episode and had a portion of it done. This is in my bag from Tanny Casey, which this bag I've abused and re-abused it so much, and it's simply amazing. So, all right, let me unpack here a little bit. Sorry, clunking needles. All right, I made it before I went in for my surgery. I made it through the yoke on this sweater, and I did that because I felt like I would, I really super needed to focus, and I was glad that I did that. So here it is. Back up a little bit. Sorry, as you all know, it's all crunched up or whatever, but this super beautiful. I did have a little bit of trouble. There was one row in particular, I don't know what it was about it, that I redid the row 3 times. I almost gave up. I almost put the dang thing in timeout. And I still don't know if it's absolutely correct, but it doesn't matter because it looks great. So, yeah. So this is the beginning stages of it. I did put it on a cable and tried it on, and it fits like a dream. It's not going to have a whole lot of positive ease, and I didn't want it to anyway. I don't like a whole lot of positive ease on my sweaters. I just don't. I think I've said it before, it just makes me look bulkier than needs to be. So I'm a pretty good ways down the body. Very excited about that. And so I've been working a little bit every day on this too. I need to get it off the needles so I can wear it. So the yarn that I'm using is Lamb Strings yarn. And I got this at Indie Untangled when I went to, New York. This is their fawn base. It's 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. And they call this a 3-ply heavy sock. So it's like 414 yards on a 100-gram skein. This is their cider mill colorway. It is fabulous. There are a lot of different tones in it. There's some rusts and some browns. It really super, super nice and so soft. And I am holding that together with Mohair from Knitting for Olive in the dark cognac. I can never say that colorway. Yeah, and so it really makes for a great, soft, muted situation. It's got a nice halo on it. And I think that the cables are very nicely defined. I was a little worried. I didn't know if the cables would show up very good, but they seem to look good. So I'm excited to be well on my way there. A little bit, a few more inches on the body, couple of sleeves, boom, done. So yeah, that is going well, and I was happy that I really pushed to get the yoke of that done. It's not a hard pattern, but you do need to focus on it, and you can't have a whole lot of chaos or anything going on around you. I did anyway. I haven't done that many projects with cables, and that was a lot of cables. There was a lot of cable stitches, like there wasn't a whole lot of rest rows in that one, and so definitely needed to be focused. So anyway, you know what that was? Some freaky thing making the lights go out. I think I might have bumped the cord or something. Anyway, you're not here for that. All right, the next thing on my needles, if you guys remember, I talked about a shawl, or maybe you haven't seen it yet, a few episodes back, and I called it my happy accident shawl because I started out making one shawl, messed up, decided that it was kind of an okay mess up, and then proceeded to complete the shawl, modify it and complete the shawl. And I couldn't figure out the name of the shawl for the longest time. And I don't know how I figured it out, but I think it was because I bought the pattern at the local yarn store. That's what it was. And then I just went back to the yarn store and I saw it and I wrote it down so that I could dig it out. Anyway, I'm all chatty today. This is the shawl. It's called the Annika shawl. And it is by, let's see if I can say her name, Alina Apisova. Alina Apisova. And so this was a shop sample, and they did it in a self-striping yarns, which was kind of cool. I think they use an Unique Fingering is the brand they used. So this shawl I started out doing, and I can't give too much away because it is a paid for pattern, but you can see that the eyelets are all along this outside edge. And I, for some reason, read the directions wrong and just carried on with my eyelets all the way across the row. So that's why I called it my happy accident shawl. Well, my dear sweet friend has eyeballed mine for quite some time now, oogled it. So I passed one on for her. I don't know if I'll be able to, if I'll be able to get it done in time for, sorry you guys, for Christmas, but that is the goal. I'm sorry for all the clanging needles. I don't know what's wrong with me today. Here I am. Okay. So here it is. I have, I think I have 24 repeats done on this, and I need 32 to make it the same size as mine. And, okay, this yarn is from Northwoods Fiber Company. It's her sock yarn, and it's 75% merino, 25% nylon. It's cool. It's got a lot of different shades in it. This is her Salem colorway. Let's see here. Sorry, my yarn is kind of a mess. Yeah, it's really a nice color. Super pretty, lots of colors. She has nice yarn. She also does some self-striping. Hang on a second. I am going to grab my version of the shawl. It's right here. Sorry about that. So that I can show you without clanging needles. So here it is. And I really, really like this because, and my girlfriend liked it too because it doesn't, it's not big and bulky and very easy to wear. And it really looks good on. So, and this is a nice, it's a one skein project, so it didn't take too long. And it's very drapey. The yarn I used on mine was Woolen Vine Yarns and her Dirty on Purpose color. So anyway, I think she's gonna love it, and I'm very anxious to have it done. I'm on the home stretch. Of course, as you get to this point, the rows grow a lot, so it takes a little bit more time to get across them. But nevertheless, I really like how it turned out, and I really like the eyelets all the way across as opposed to just on the edge. Not that that is a bad thing, and it's kind of cool that they did that in a self-striping. But yeah, so anyway, that is a gift knit, and I've been working on that as much as I can too because I want it off the needles. I'm not wearing anything today because I thought I would get my festive on a little bit with my buffalo plaid, and I also have my Christmas mug. some coffee today. Okay, next thing I have a half-finished object. This is in my Mrs. Brown's bags. This one is one of my favorites. I show it often because I use it all the time. Okay, and so this is, let me get this situated here, my holiday peppermint socks. I thought this was super, super cute. I just cast on no pattern, just my own recipe, and I could not resist this yarn. The name of the yarn is called Holiday Peppermint. It comes with this little mini. I had red in my stash that I did for the heel and the toe, but look at that color. So much goodness in that Holiday Peppermint. Talk about being spot on with the color. So super cute. So I have one done, and I have a tangled mess. Sorry. I have the second one part way. This yarn is so soft, super soft. Let's see if I can find the band. Okay, so this is Rose Hill Yarns, and it is DK weight, of course. It is 245 grams, 245 yards to 100 grams, and with a little mini skein, 20 grams. It's 25 superwash merino and 25% nylon. Super soft and smooth, and it is in her Holiday Peppermint colorway. So it came with this. Like I said, the colors are smashing, beautiful. And then the complimentary mini as well. Oh, it was crazy. So I saw this and got sucked in. The grocery girls were talking about this. And apparently Rose Hill Yarns does this colorway every year because it's so requested. But look at it, it's got all these teals, pinks, hot pink, red. I mean, Holiday Peppermint, that was the perfect name for that one. So yes, these are for me, yay. I've been doing so many socks for everybody else that I haven't had any for me. So I am hoping to have these done shortly because I would like to be able to wear them to our family Christmas get together on Christmas Eve. Yeah, super great colorway. Love it. Love it. Awesome. Okay, so that is for me. And then I have one more whip to talk about. And this is in project bag from Little Robin Cottage. I realize it's the wrong season, but this is for my other granddaughter, Eloise. And she chose this bag because she's a bunny lover. Love Little Robin Cottage. She has some great bags. She's really a sweet person too. All right, so it's a pair of socks because Eloise has been asking for socks. And I think I mentioned I was reluctant because she's kind of fussy and finicky about how her socks fit. But she has reassured me that she really wants a pair. She's tried Annabelle's and she really wants her own. So here I am. And basically, Eloise's foot is the same size as Annabelle's lengthwise, but it's narrower. So I did, instead of doing 40 stitches, I did 36 stitches, but the same basic recipe that I do for Annabelle with 10 on the leg, heel flap and gusset, and then the foot. So let me talk about the yarn, and then I want to talk to you about something else. So Eloise chose this color, and it is formerly, well, it's to the Macks Yarn Company. It's no longer that. It's Frankie Gray Fibers. So it's one half of the Grocery Girls. And this is her, it was a sock set, fingering weight 80-20. and in the colorway Candy Cane Bark, which for sure, all about the peppermint here, this episode. So this is a little bit thicker sock. When I have, I like to do DK weight, and I will hold 2 fingering together to get a heavier sock. And what I have learned is some of the thicker socks, this is an 80-20 base. And if I were to double this, it really makes the sock just a little bit too thick. And, you know, it's more like a house sock. So I didn't want that. So I paired it up with an additional yarn and to hold double, and it's this one. So these two together are what I'm knitting with. And this is Barnyard Knits, which I love their yarn. Their base, their fingering, or yeah, sock fingering is 75-25 nylon, but it's 463 yards on there, so it's a little bit thinner. And so when you hold them together, you get more of a DK weight. I think sometimes when you hold the fingering weights double, it's closer to worsted. So I'm always fussy about how I do that. Anyway, all that to say that they combined very nicely, and we got some Candy Cane socks going on. Eloise hopefully will like this. She has asked about them, but I only had the cuff done, so I didn't bother. But I did want to share something that I decided to do so it would make it easier for me with the kids with their socks. I had their mom trace their foot on a piece of paper so that I would have something to base my socks off of. I took that tracing, cut it out, and I attached it to file folder, which I glued it on. And so this is Eloise's foot, her actual foot, which is awesome because then I can use it in my sock to measure to see where I'm at and where I need to be. And so then I think I'm going to have a better fit. So I thought that was a really great thing to do. I also did one for Annabelle, and so see, their feet are pretty close. They're a couple years different, but it got me thinking, you know, if you have people that you want to do socks for, if you just have them trace their foot on a piece of paper and give it to you, and you know, I glued it to the file folder so that it would stiffen it enough so that I could use it. But I was really happy with that, instead of trying to figure out a measurement on the sock ruler all the time. Of course, I'll have to update it as we go, you know, as they grow, but yeah, it fits right in there, and just like a sock ruler would. And I think it's going to make it a little bit easier to do the finishing. And when I put mine in, I put it all the way back down to the heel, and I do stretch it just a little bit because you want to have a little bit of negative ease. So I am so close to the toe, maybe 1 or 2 more rows. And I will do the toe, and I will have one sock done. So hopefully Eloise will wear these, because it's a lot of work to you know, make the socks, and I don't mind making them, but I don't want to make them if somebody's going to be fussing about them. So anyway, that was just a fun little tip that I decided to try, and it works out really, really, really good. It's nice to have an accurate measurement of their actual foot. Okay, and then the last thing that's on my needles is a fail. Not necessarily a fail. I have completely lost interest in it. So I will talk to you about it. I have it in an antique basket, and I shared it previously. So it is a cowl. It's called the Tiverton or Tiverton cowl. and it's Blue Sky Fibers. It was designed to use with a wool stock bundle, which is this thingamabobby here. Bundle of small minis, a worsted weight. And this is just part of the bundle because I started the cowl. And I also combined it with a LRA super wash wool. So here it is. So here's the cowl, which it's cute, and I don't dislike it. I mean, the colors are nice. It's pretty easy. But my problem is that you change yarns so often. You guys, look at all these ends, and I don't know, it just very time consuming, and you know, like I said, I like it, but not only do you have to wrap all the little minis first, you know, which that's okay, I don't mind doing, and there's little scraps left over, so I don't know if this is enough to make it around again for another repeat. Anyway, it's not all that often that I choose a project and then I don't want to finish it or don't enjoy it, but I totally am not enjoying this. It's too much. Cut this yarn, add this yarn. Here's another end to deal with. Yeah, that is a huge amount of ends. And that's just for, I haven't even used all 7 colors yet. So anyway, this one's getting frogged. Even if, you know, it's pretty or whatever, it's too time consuming, and I'm just not feeling it. So I will use the minis for something else. I actually think I'll probably do a pair of mittens with them because they would make really nice mittens. So yeah, womp womp. That guy's going to the frog pile. I know. It's good. It's all good. I've already made the decision. You can't talk me out of it, so don't even try. So yeah, that is, that's just one of those things. Sometimes that happens, you know. Sometimes I cast on a project and I'm a few rows into it, I'm thinking, wow, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. And that's kind of what happened here. I mean, I think I gave it a fair shake. I changed colors several times. So anyway, that is that. And I will use the yarn for something else, and onward and upward. I like my knitting to bring me joy, not stress, and not, I don't want to be second guessing myself all the way through the project. You know, do I really like this? This is kind of time consuming. This is a pain, all of that. So that little bad boy is going to the frog pile. It doesn't happen too often, but it does happen. And I just wanted to share that because I want people to know that, you know, you're in charge of what you choose to do. And just because you cast something on, and if you're not feeling it, then why do you want to struggle through that? There's no joy in that. I'm all about the joy of the knitting. So yeah, so bye-bye to that one. All right, let's see. So before we move on to acquisitions and dream knitting and all of that stuff, I just wanted to throw another little, I don't know if it's a tip or a pointer, or it's what I do to keep track of my works in progress. And I have a lot on the needles right now, and so that sometimes I get a little like anxious about it, and so I like to have some sort of system or control over what I have on the needles, just so things don't get stuck in a corner and you forget about them, and then next thing you know, you don't go back to them. So I have come up with just a little system on my own. It's no big deal at all, but I thought I would share it with you to let you know how I keep track of things and how I keep the projects rotating through, so they don't get stuck in a corner. And then, you know, 3 months later, you're like, oh, I should really finish that. But then you lose your motivation. So this is what I do. I keep track of this in my simple, this is just a local store, daily planner or calendar, whatever have you. And so I take every week and I write down all my projects that are currently on the needles. And I put across the top Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you know, the days of the week. And then I set little goals for myself. This is not to complicate anything. It's just a system that helps me keep track. So for instance, on my list, I have sweater. That's my Hush sweater. And I have a 10 next to it. And I just set a goal that maybe I can do 10 rows a day. Same thing on the socks, the 2 socks. And then, well, Logan's sweater is done, so I don't have to worry about that. And then my shawl. And I've put a goal of doing 3 repeats on that. So I start off my day and I just go down the list and I do all of those things as I can. And some days I don't get to them. When I don't get to them, you'll see there's dash marks. But as I get to them, I check them off. And then when something's completed, I exit and I do this. So this makes me aware that if I just do a little bit every day, and you know, it just makes it seem less daunting. Also, it's so fun to go and check off and say I did that. And so if I make it through my whole list, you know, then I can go back and choose anything I want to work on either more or, you know, choose a project that I want to get finished, and it works a little rapidly. So that is just the system I use. That's not to say that you have to keep track of your knitting or that it's a bad thing to have works in progress that are, you know, again, sometimes we lose interest in things. But this just keeps me accountable and helps me stay on task. And that's how I get projects done. Last week, I had all of those hats on my list, and every day I did 10 rows on each of them. And in no time at all, I had 3 finished objects. Same thing with Annabelle's socks. I had those on the needles, and I had, you know, one where it was just a toe that was all that was left. And so I just completed the toe instead of doing 10 rows. It was probably about 10 rows anyway. But anyway, my point being, sometimes you got to have a system that works for you. And that was one that worked for me. So I like to do that. And then I don't get crazy behind it, especially when you have like 4 or 5 whips going at the same time, and then suddenly you're like, well, what's in this bag? What's in that bag? So anyway, I just thought I would share that because that's what works for me, and it helps keep me moving forward because there's so many patterns and so much yarn to knit that there's never enough hours in a day to do all of them. But at least I feel like I'm getting things off the needle, and then it's exciting because you get to check something off or exit out, and then you think to yourself, okay, I cast on something else. So the whip parade continues, but at least you have a little bit of control. It helps keep you motivated. So I just thought I'd share that. I don't know if it's a good thing for you guys, but it works for me. So I do have a couple of things that are dream knitting and acquisitions. I did a little Black Friday shopping. I tried not to. I tried to be good about it, but whatever. All right, so the first thing that really piqued my interest, I really would like to have a couple more cardigans in my wardrobe. And I think we always steer clear of cardigans because it does require purling. I don't mind purling, but it takes a little bit longer. And there's so many beautiful cardigans out there. So I decided to find a couple that piqued my interest. So this is one of them. And this is called the Home Cardigan, and it's by Kadri, I think is how you say that. Just a basic cardigan. I would make mine a little bit longer. But I really liked the look of this. It's a little bit, I think it's done in an Aran weight. So I did order some yarn for it because I've never used this yarn before. Sorry ahead of time for crinkling. It might be crinkling. I ordered this, which is Wool of the Andes, and this was from Knit Picks, which is, I believe this is just a worsted weight. So in the pattern, it calls for holding worsted weight with a mohair. And honestly, I don't know that I want mohair with it because I'm finding like, I feel like I have too many sweaters with mohair in it. And honestly, it's a little bit, it pills a lot more than a yarn, you know, without mohair, a sweater without mohair would. But I hear lots of good things about this. And so I may swatch with a, I don't know, a fingering held with it, or I may swatch with it just alone. I really liked this color. It's kind of an olivey green color. So I did order that, and I need to do a swatch and figure out what I can put with it. I could put mohair, but like I said, I feel like all the sweaters are fingering and mohair held together, and I just don't know if I actually want a cardigan with mohair too. I already have, you know, my love note, and I'm working on my hush, and I'm gonna do another love note, and those all have mohair in them, which is fine. That's great. I mean, it's nice and all of that, but I don't know. I'm not sure anyway about that. So, I really like the style of it though. It's very casual and easy wear and V-neck too, so I think I would wear that a lot. So yeah, that was one cardigan, and again, I apologize for the crinkling. I don't want to take this out of the bag. This is a new release from Tori Yu, and it's called the Gartergan, and she knit this in Sonder Yarn Company, and I absolutely love Sonder Yarn. So they had kits for this, and it's just a very basic all garter stitch cardigan. So I really liked that. She's got some, looks like I-cord edging to finish it, but I really liked this color. And now that I'm here, I cannot actually see the color, but anyway, sorry for the crinkling. But this is their Sunday Morning DK. And this is the color that Tori used in her sample. I want to say it's called Toast and Honey. Wow. Wow. So this was a bit of a splurge, but with Sonder Yarn Company, I always know that it is worth every penny. They have amazing yarn. So yeah, so those were a couple, and not that I don't have plenty of yarn in my stash and I have plenty of sweater quantities, but I couldn't help it. So those two cardigans, almost all the other sweater quantities that I have, I'm pretty sure the plan is for pullovers. So yeah, anyway, that was future knitting. And then I wanted to talk a couple of acquisitions. So my first acquisition is a DK weight sock set. It's here. And this is from Palmer Yarn Company. And it is fabulous. This is her toffee colorway. And I tend to gravitate towards this, you know, mustardy, yummy golden brown muddy colors and she has two minis with it. Kimberly's fantastic. So I actually have her, this is one of my advent calendars, which I haven't been sharing, but I'm going to show you real quick my calendar. Hang on. So it's right here. These are the minis. Really nice. She did a great job. And again, that is a DK weight, so I'm super excited. I actually am contemplating some sort of a blanket with it. I'm not a blanket person, so I could be lying. I've tried blankets in the past and I lose interest in them. But I do like the idea of the habitation throw. That's really nice. Or more of a lap size that I can just put on the back of my sofa in the living room or on the back of my chair to just drape over me. I don't know yet. I could be, just talking hot air anyway, but blankets I've tried I don't know how many times and I just lose my stamina. So I really should not be allowed to have an advent calendar because I break all the rules all the time. You're supposed to be knitting it every, the fun of it is to knit it as you open them, but sometimes I like to see all of the colors, although with Kimberly, Palmer Yarn Company, all of her colors are amazing. So I wouldn't be so hesitant to start a project because I know that they would all blend together, but it's been a really beautiful advent. She does a really nice job, but she advertised some sock sets and I got sucked in. Guys, it's amazing. And I haven't made socks in her DK weight. Generally, I have only ordered fingering weight. So yeah, I'm anxious to, at some point, those will be for me. Me. And the other advent that I am enjoying is from Woolen Women Fibers. This is their tag, Woolen Women Fibers. And so they did a little bit different advent. They did, you open a full skein of yarn every Sunday in Advent. So we have 3 that we've opened, and I have 1 to go this coming weekend, and then I will have opened them all. That was kind of different, opening a full skein once a week. So here's the 3 so far. This is called White Poinsettias, and it's in her DK weight. Wow, look at that. Beautiful. 230 yards. 100% superwash merino. This is called Snowfall Outside My Window. Look at that. Beautiful. And this is her fingering weight 80-20 base. Again, really a squishy, thicker base. So for me to be able to do DK socks with this, I would hold this together with a thinner, an additional thinner fingering weight. In fact, that Barnyard Knits color I'm using in my other socks would be great with that. So yeah, really, really beautiful. So that was week number 2, and then this was the 3rd week, and this is her DK weight again, and it's called Countryside Sledding. I say her, it's more than one person in this company. Look at, they even tossed in a little bit of the green and the red, some blue. So these will make some really pretty socks. Yeah. So that was a different advent, and I really enjoyed it. And then I have just 1 more to go. This is number 4, so this will be this Sunday, and that advent will be complete. So that was really a cool thing. It was unusual. I didn't know people did those. I thought they all did their, the actual advents the way everybody does with the minis, which I'm perfectly happy with my minis, but I was even more thrilled that somebody offered an advent in DK, because DK has my heart most of the time. So I don't know what I'll do with my advents, but it doesn't matter. I don't need to make that decision today. I can decide anytime I want. So I think that is it for acquisitions. Yeah. Okay, and so the last thing that I'm gonna talk about is the Love Note Knit Along. I don't know who's participating and who's not, doesn't matter to me, but Sophie of Cozy Meadow Knits and myself are hosting a knit along. It's casting on New Year's Day. And it's just very casual, no stress. I've gone over all of that information. I do have information on this knit along on the community tab on my YouTube channel here. So you can find out more information about that. And we are going to be using the hashtag Old Time Cozy Meadow, KAL, over on Instagram. So you can share your progress, you can share your yarn, you can share anything you'd like to do with the love note. And I again will say, if you have not knit one, it is a great pattern. It's on US size 10 needles. I mean, it flies off of flies. And I may decide to do mine without the lace this time because I just love the fit of the sweater so much, and it's just such a great pattern. I don't know that. I haven't decided that yet. It doesn't matter. I'm still gonna knit along with Sophie. And so if you'd like to join us, then that is the place to find the info. And I will put the hashtag on the screen so that you will know where to post your photos. Okay, I think that is pretty much it. I'm so happy to have come through my chaos and be back here sharing with you. And I'm so glad to have this community that has openly welcomed me, and we are watching our subscriber count go up. We are watching, more people are tuning into us and liking and all of those things, and that just gets my channel out there. Not that I need to be a superstar by any means, because just being able to share my projects and have the podcast recording to look forward to share your completed things. It's kind of like having you guys over to my house, like a knit group. And I love that story so much. So I appreciate every single one of you guys, and anybody who can, sit down and watch me and come out of it the other end still smiling. I hope that's a good day. So anyway, I don't know when I will be back again. I do not know if I will record again before Christmas. Probably not. Probably between Christmas and New Year's, but I will be back then. And if you are celebrating Christmas or whatever the holidays that you decide to celebrate, I wish you all the best, and nothing but good times and happiness. I hope you get some knitting time in. I hope you get some relaxing time, because this can be a very busy and stressful time. So try to take a chunk of time for yourself. It's really important for your well-being, and keep those needles clicking. All right, everybody, I will talk to you again soon. Happy everything. Bye.